We're going to start this museum project off by using books for our research. So if you remember, this is our research continuum. You start at the top quadrant, and we are going to be starting in the explore phase before we move on to investigate. And we're going to use books for this explore phase. And if you look carefully at the titles, what you will see is that they have something else in common. They have the word encyclopedia in common. Many of them come in multi-volumes. So the Encyclopedia of World History comes in 7 volumes, but we're only focusing on the first 2, the Ancient World and the Expanding World. Here's another one. This is the Encyclopedia of India. You'll see one is missing because somebody had it checked out. So this is a 4-volume encyclopedia, and you'll notice that they're organized alphabetically. So if you were looking for Gupta, that's the one that's checked out. That's in volume number 2. Here's another encyclopedia. This is the Encyclopedia of World Eras, and this is a little bit tricky because it's organized by region and by time period. Because let's say we're looking for Phoenicia. You don't know which book to look in, so you have to do a little bit of background checking. So you need to know your civilization's name, alternate spellings of your civilization's name, the approximate dates your civilization started, when it was at its peak and when it declined, what came before and after, and the present name of the region where your civilization began. For Phoenicia, you can do most of that work in Wikipedia. I did use this very cool ancient history timeline, which I liked a lot. So let's come back to our Phoenicia dilemma. Which of these volumes do we choose? So one of the things I learned when I did my background checking on Phoenicia is that it came before the classical civilizations of Greece. So let's take a look at this book and see what we find on Phoenicia. So yeah, let's try to figure out how you find something in a reference book. So when you open it, you can take a look at this table of contents. And now I'm going to shift gears. I'm going to look for the mound cultures. And you can see that the mound cultures are there on page 435. So what if your topic is not available in the table of contents? Does that mean it's not in the book at all? So let's say we wanted to do the mound civilizations, but we wanted to look closely at the Adena, the Hopewell, and the Mississippians. Well, they're not in the table of contents. So I'm going to flip to the part of the book called Index, and I'm going to look there. And where in the book is the index usually located? It's usually in the back of the book. Here we do find that the Adena culture is listed, and the Hopewell culture is listed, and the Mississippian culture is listed, as is the mound builder cultures. And you can see that it's broken down further according to different civilizations. Here's another book. This is a nonfiction book. It is not an encyclopedia. It's not even a reference book. So I looked in the index of this book, and I jotted down all the page numbers where our civilizations turn up. What do I notice? I notice that there's a cluster of pages that are all about these civilizations from the Americas. So what I should do is start at page 252 and read all the way to 262. So I should read those 10 pages all the way through, because chances are they have enough information about all my civilizations that I can actually create a Persia plus GT chart for this book. And that's the objective. Here's another book, and you'll notice that nowhere in the title does it say anything about ancient civilizations. These are readings. These are different interpretations of history by various historians, and some of them are primary sources and some of them are secondary sources. But if you look at this page 6, an early city in the Tigris-Euphrates Valley, you're wondering, okay, what does that still have to do with this project? Well, guess what? The Tigris-Euphrates Valley is exactly where Mesopotamia was. If this is about cities in Mesopotamia, then chances are it's going to be pretty helpful. It's by a historian, so he's basically painting the picture of what a city would look like. There's everything you need. You could complete a whole Persia plus GT chart just from that one little passage. Here's another book that's really super helpful. It doesn't look by the cover that it's going to be helpful for this project, but it's the timetables of history, and it's organized in the most amazing way. Off to the sides, you'll see that you have the dates, and across the top, you have all these different categories. And it goes year by year by year by year, and then there's information about different activities that happened, or people that did things, or amazing accomplishments that were achieved, or fabulous landmarks in history. But check out the categories. It looks an awful lot like Persia plus GT. So it's a chronological arrangement of Persia plus GT across world history. Many of these books are stored on this cart right at the circulation desk. So remember my book, From the World Eras, Volume 6, Classical Greek and Civilization? Let's say I checked that book out. And I realized, wait, I don't know that this Phoenicia, I've learned a little bit more about them, but I'm not really sure this might be the right volume. Maybe the volume I needed instead was the one on Mesopotamia. But wait, I'm home now. I should have got the other book. It's okay because we have a way for you to get that other book even though you're at home. So take a look at this table of contents from these World Eras books. Total Persia plus GT. They are organized so well. They're great. How do you find them? I think that most of you have used Destiny Quest before. It seems to me that by show of hands in the 9th grade classes, most of the students have had some experience using Destiny Quest. So you go to the online catalog. When we do a search for an Encyclopedia of American Indian History and Destiny Quest, the first default landing it's going to show up on is library titles. And that's different from digital resources. And I guess you'd want to know what the difference is. Well, library titles have resources that have a call number, and this is for print books. And that call number is a shelf location in the library, and you can see that there's a gap right there. That's because I pulled those books and put them on that card I just talked about. The next tab, or the last tab to the right, is digital resources. And what are those? Those are ebooks. And ebooks can look really different depending on who we bought them from. But you'll notice that there are some things that they have in common with print books. We just talked about table of contents. Those are there. We talked about an index. That is there. One of the upsides of an ebook, you can digitally cross-search it with a keyword. Now you'll notice that the Mississippian has an asterisk. I talked about that in class. That's where you have a shift +8, and that will give you Mississippian and Mississippians. Once you've done your search, you'll see that you have all of the entries that mention the Mississippians in the book. Here's another ebook. It's also an encyclopedia. We have it available in print, as we do with the other one. We have a lot of books that are available both in print and in digital format. This looks, you'll notice, very different. So you still have your table of contents. You still have your index, but you're going to search your publication up top, and that's where you put your search terms in. So, big question is, how do you access these books? Well, you can do it on a computer. But we'd really like you to access them on your mobile device. Download the Destiny Quest app to your mobile device, because once you're searching the library collection, if you enter the wrong information or you want to change your search, it's much easier if you just have your handheld device with you and you can change your search on your handheld device. The other reason is I really want you to be able to access these resources mobily without having to be sitting at a computer. So you can access resources, the ebooks, all of that on your phone. And there are some important steps that you need to follow through. When you download the app, it's not enough. You still have to enter the school URL. That's the http://destiny.newcanaan.k12.ct.us. And then you still have to log in with your personal NCPS ID and password. And that's the information you use to log into the school computers. So don't include an email address, just your NCPS, first name, last name, and your password. Now, there are more instructions on how to use ebooks and how to access ebooks and how ebooks look totally different. So you can go to the next step in the lesson path, or you can watch this video. But in the meantime, if you have questions, please text the library at 615-669-6670.